when you heal, like this is the other thing, like this is such a big part of what I teach. Like you're not
Mhm.
just doing this work for you, you're doing it for your lineage. We hold
Yeah.
13 generations of trauma in our DNA, up to
Same.
13 generations. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you think about what was happening 13 generations ago in any of our DNA, like it was probably slavery or it was
Yeah.
poverty or it was genocide. And it's
Mhm.
like, if you're carrying that, no wonder history keeps repeating itself. Like,
Right,
so when
right.
you heal it for you, you don't just heal it for you heal it for your lineage and you heal it for everyone who comes after you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think about the way that I was raised by my mom, who was raised that way by her mom and her mom and her
Yeah.
mom. And like, I decided that that was no longer going to be my reality. And like, now I watch the
Exactly.
way my son is being raised and like, he knows he is loved. It's like, we've
Love
healed
it.
it, like this kid will
Yeah.
never question his
What a
worth in that
gift.
way. And it's because of the work that I did.
Welcome to the Bridge Podcast, a podcast featuring heart-centered leaders, artists, healers, speakers, and creatives who are leading a new paradigm through their own personal embodiment. Join us to explore the evolution of humanity that we see happening on our planet and how the intersection of art and humanity may be the key to having a new experience on Earth, as we individually and collectively choose to align with a greater peace, unity, harmony, and unconditional love in our everyday lives. Together, we will explore inspiring, insightful, and healing conversations that tap us into the artist within, empower us to be the conscious creators of our reality, and amplify the world we want to see by coming home to our own divinity. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of the Bridge Podcast. I am so excited to be here with you today. I hope that this episode is going to bring you a lot of wisdom and a lot of inspiration for your journey of self-discovery, finding your authenticity, stepping into your purpose and your passions, and really feeling empowered by who you are and supported in that authenticity. And just having an example from someone like Danielle that this kind of life is possible for all of us. I've been following Danielle for several months on Instagram, and honestly, I have learned so much. I'm continuously inspired to live a life that is more true for me and just have more fun. So I hope that this brings you that same level of magic and then some. In this episode, we talk about the inner workings of astrology and human design as a roadmap to your full potential, growing up in arts and theater and the evolution of passion and identity, taking responsibility for your life to optimize your desired experience, survival and praise versus true authenticity, visibility and being perceived, receiving praise for the wrong things, thoughts on ADHD, autism, and redefining what is normal in a world of increasing sensitivity, how labels and context can empower and validate our experience without limiting who we are, conditioning versus your divine blueprint, family dynamics, and healing our lineage in real time with loved ones by seeing triggers as a generational mirror and opportunity to come home to love. We also discuss living in technicolour, outsourcing versus discernment, conscious embodiment, shadow work versus victimhood, nervous system regulation, somatic healing, duality, attachment styles, relationships, and fluidity. Danielle is an industry leader in human design, trauma healing, astrology, meditation, breathwork, and somatic healing, all of which have personally really brought her back from some pretty epic burnouts. She has pivoted careers many times, built multiple six-figure businesses, and is a master manifester. In 3 years, she has built Danielle on the Daily to a 7-figure brand. Danielle has coached hundreds of men and women looking to leave the current business paradigm behind and are only interested in a delusional and beautiful life with no limits. In her words, I am a master of supporting you in living a life that feeds your soul and having a business that is centered around your life context. My specialty is depth and seeing my clients' blind spots. I believe that when you know yourself, you win. With her extensive education and experience, she guides and gives her clients the tools necessary to scale a massive and sustainable life and business, one that is completely out of the matrix. Her celebrities she particularly likes are Taylor Swift, Kendrick, and Beyoncé. We have lots to cover in this episode, so let's dive in. Welcome, Danielle, to the Bridge podcast. I'm stoked to have you here today. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. You are someone that is just so fun, and your social media brings so much light to my life. And I learn so much from you. The more that I know about you, the more I'm just like, can't wait to hire her and like have her all up in my business. So I'm
Careful what you
stoked.
wish for.
No, trust me, I'm ready. So I'm just really excited to have this conversation and to learn more about you and your journey and have people hear your perspective on things and just feel your fire because you're a really dope person. So thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice. Thank you for having me. I'm so
You're
excited to be
welcome.
here.
Yeah, of course. And so anybody who doesn't know you, can we take a second to just go back down memory lane? Tell them a little bit about who you are. Who's Danielle? What's your story? What's your journey? I want to hear it
Yeah.
all.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart in astrology. So that story, if we go all the way back, would literally take days. So I'm going to give
Yeah,
you the Cliffs Notes version, and then anything
perfect.
you want to dive deeper into, we can do.
Perfect.
So I grew up in Los Angeles, California. My parents both are from California as well, and I grew up dancing. I started dancing professionally when I was like 16. I always grew up an athlete. I mean, I was like the little girl that was doing like swim and softball and dance until we got to a certain point where my family
Yeah.
was like, you gotta pick one. And
Yeah.
so we picked dance and like off I went. So started dancing professionally when I was 16. I actually I actually got married at 20 and then moved to London and toured the world from London and choreographed professionally in London for a couple different projects. I danced over there. And then I actually moved back to the States and finished up a dance and theater degree and a master's in acting in the UC system of California. Got
Fun.
divorced. I switched careers and went into theater, or I went more not into theater. Like I got a degree. I got a degree in dance and a degree in theater, and then an MFA in acting. And so I ended up moving into like film and television, which I did for a few
Hmm.
years. And then I really just like didn't love it. And so
Hmm.
I went into fitness. I actually had gotten a job at Soul Cycle, which is like an indoor cycling
Hmm.
studio in the States that I was working at the front desk as like a way to kind of supplement in between like seasons on the TV show I was working on. And then I kind of fell in love with it. And went to New York, got trained to be an
Hmm.
instructor, and had like a 10-year Soul Cycle career where
Wow.
I was a master instructor, I was head of talent and development for the West Coast and loved it until I didn't. And in that time, like during that whole period, I had gotten divorced. I had actually met my son's dad at Soul Cycle. We fell madly in love, had our son on our year anniversary, which was insane. And then he and I
Cute.
actually broke up about a year after our son was born. And then sometime after that, my best friend, Breezy, became my girlfriend. And now we are married. And I
I
have
love.
since switched careers again. And I decided to go full into entrepreneurship about 7 years ago. I have a stint in the network marketing industry. I was like a business coach, and now I guess we've landed for now on
Hmm.
like spiritual strategist and like energetics mentor for business and visionaries. And I have a lot of celebrity clients. I do astrology and human design and nervous system work and shadow work. My motto is like, when you know yourself, you win.
Hmm.
And now, me and my wife and my son, Owen, and his dad, we all moved to Austin, Texas about 3 or so years ago. And we live
Yeah.
here and got two dogs and three cats. And life is crazy, but amazing. And I'm 37. So I've lived more
Amazing.
lives than I think most cats get. But, you know, that's where we're at for now.
I love it. It's so cool. It reminds me of the five energy. I'm a five life path in numerology. And it's like I just
Oh,
want to keep changing it up and doing new things. And
oh,
or
yeah. You're right in that
28.
Saturn return
I
window.
am 28. I'm in my Saturn return now. So
Yeah. I'm a
yeah.
life path 3. So it's similar to the
Mm,
5.
yes.
A lot of
Yeah.
lessons.
Three is my challenge position. So
Oh, cool.
yes, very fun.
Yeah.
So I love there's yeah, lots of those
incredible chapters I want to ask you about. But to get into knowing yourself is the win. Like, I just want to start there because why is astrology and human design important? Why is knowing yourself important? Like, tell us, because I'm sure that's been a big part of your journey and why you decide to do things. So just tell the people
Yeah.
who need to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's so many different ways to like get to know yourself. And, I was like the 16-year-old that was like slinging or astrology readings behind the girls' bathroom at lunch for 20 bucks. Like
I love
I've
it.
always, I mean, I'm a Sagittarius stellium, which if you don't
Hmm.
know a lot about astrology, like a stellium is anything more than like three planets in one sign. And I have five in Sagittarius and they're
Oh
all
my
within
gosh.
like 1 degree of each other. So it's like a very strong
Hmm.
stellium.
Hmm.
So I think everything in my life has always been like, how much bigger can this get? Very Jupiterian in nature, very like, how much more expanded can I get? How much more can I learn? Like, student of the world for
Hmm.
sure.
Hmm.
And the way that I look at systems like human design, astrology, numerology, I mean, it's all connected.
Yeah.
So whether it's numerology that you love, or astrology, or human design, even like I don't like love the Enneagram, but it's another way to like
Hmm.
get to know yourself.
Hmm.
I think I look at these things as maps,
Hmm.
and it's like if you and I were going to go on a road trip, right? And we were going to look at the weather on the way and we saw that there was snow, we wouldn't not go on that trip. We would just buy chains and make sure we were prepared. And I think that your
Hmm.
human design, your astrology, your numerology, like all of these different systems are really great ways to see what's ahead of you on your road trip. And so you can navigate it better. So I'm definitely not like, I actually, when I was living in England, I actually got a diploma in astrology from Oxford. So I don't, I'm not like a pop astrologer where it's just like so black and white. Like I think it is such a great map to get you closer to whatever your highest self is, right? So
Hmm.
that could be God, it could be source, it could be universe. It's all a way to get you to know yourself better because we're not taught that. Like
Yeah.
society teaches you to outsource yourself. Society teaches you to have no discernment. Society teaches you to stay in victimhood. And I think
Hmm.
systems like astrology and human design, they really do work to get you to see where your deconditioning lies and where your shadows are and the responsibility for your life that you need to take in order to live it to its absolute biggest maximum potential.
Yeah.
I've gotten, I don't, I'm not a person who cares about like certifications and stuff, but I know a
Hmm.
lot of people are. And, my background is in neurolinguistics programming. So
Hmm.
how the brain works. And I've done a lot of somatic certifications. And then like shadow work as well. Like that's my
Yeah.
background.
Hmm.
And when I kind of had this moment where I was like, oh my gosh, it's all connected. That was like when I was like, oh yeah, this is why it's so important because I think it's really easy to go, oh yeah, I had a shitty childhood, but it's
Hmm.
like I can look at someone's astrology, I can like look at your moon sign and like what's going on in the fourth house and I can already have an idea of like what's
Hmm.
on the road trip so
Yeah.
that we can kind of skip all of the like and how does that make you feel?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I love therapy. I had a
Hmm.
therapist for years and I think that if you're in therapy for 7 years for the same thing and no big change has happened and you're still circling the drain, like you got ripped off. And I think
Yeah.
where human design and astrology and these like systems work, and I love when I find a therapist that like also knows these things because I'm like, yeah, you
Hmm.
get it. Like
Yeah,
it's just a way to cut time.
it is.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm thinking about I know you recently talked about like the best light workers are the ones that can talk about the real shit, the dark shit. They can go into the shadows, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think people just need to hear that because I agree. I live my life that way too, and I've had to learn a lot about that. And it really is like how deep can you go into the shit that isn't pleasant with that love and with that truth and just cut right through. So can you
yeah.
share a little bit about just your view on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have any business like teaching personal development unless you've walked through like your own shit,
Mhm.
and that doesn't mean you like spend your life in the shadows. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that I think there's a point where like shadow work becomes victimhood, and like that is also not helpful. So
Mhm.
it's like, but you have to be willing to face the parts of yourself that you don't like. You have to be willing to face the parts of yourself that are getting secondary gain from being the victim. So example of this is, I grew up with a mom who I was firstborn daughter. I was first. Wow, I just sounded
Me
like I was from like
too.
New York. I'm a firstborn daughter.
Dora.
I'm a firstborn daughter. No,
Yeah.
I am. I'm a firstborn daughter, and I grew up with a mom who I think like meant obviously she meant well. She's doing the best she
Mhm.
could with the resources she had, and I love her dearly. And um, there was a lot of like, prove it to me. Like, prove how
Mm,
much you love me. A lot of me having to be accessible and available 24/7, me having to like prove myself to her in order to receive the love that like a child should just receive for breathing.
mhm.
And what that did is it put me in this like hyper independent state. So like disassociative
Mhm.
uh and like avoidant attachment style. I
Mhm.
am the poster child for that.
Mhm.
I don't need nobody, like
Yeah.
that was me growing up. And it's great because like it's also there's positive. It's like this is what we talk about with like shadow
Yeah.
work and light work. Like you
Yeah.
cannot have one without the other.
Right.
They are so you have to have both. And
Mhm.
the law of duality, it's a universal law as real as gravity. And we could talk about universal laws all day, but like one of them is the universal law of duality, and it states that like for every action, for every light there's a shadow, for every shadow there's a light. And
Mhm.
the light side, like I get what I want. I'm a very successful entrepreneur. I've built a huge business. Like
Mhm.
I don't take no for an answer, and like I'm about the most like determined, like assassin level accuracy on like what I want. That's great. That the way that the relationship with my mom, it gave me that.
Mhm.
And it kept me very controlling for a long time, and I would
Mhm.
control all my relationships because if I'm in control, well then you can't leave me. If I leave you first,
Mhm.
then I can't be left. If
Mhm.
I control how you see me and how you perceive me, well then I never have to deal with
Yeah.
whatever. So to face that though sucks because, there's this part of it that like I always got praise for that. I got praise for being accessible and available 24/7. I got praise
Mhm.
for being the one who's always busy, for being the yes girl. People used to call me the yes man. Like she's just
Mm.
always down. Like she's always available. Like she's the friend that like you can call in the middle of the night and she's always around. And so
Yeah.
you get praise. Like you actually get praise for the things that might be hurting you the most. And that's why a lot
Mhm.
of people aren't willing to change. But it's also the thing that keeps you stuck, and it keeps you in this like fight or flight state, and it keeps you
Mhm.
addicted to praise and outside validation. In
Yeah.
therapy, they call it secondary gain.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
get praise and recognition for your trauma. And at a
Yeah.
certain point, you have to be willing to face those things and unplug from them. Otherwise, you're going to keep circling that drain, and you're going to keep having these like patterns and loops that come back up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my perspective on that. I mean,
Mhm.
and like also not bypassing the hard shit. I mean, I
Yeah.
did. My dad died 4.5 years ago. He was my best friend in the entire world. And for the first year, I was like, oh, I'm good. I have tools. Like I teach people how to handle their grief. Like I'm good.
Mm.
But like
Mm.
I actually hadn't embodied any of it. And
Yeah.
then it was like a year after he died, I like everything came crashing down. And I literally burnt that iteration of my business to the ground. I walked away
Mhm.
from so many things.
Yeah.
And it was like, did it need to happen? Sure. And for a while, I was trying to bypass. And so
Mhm.
part of grieving was actually facing the fact that, you know, as much as I loved my dad, like he needed to die in order for me to learn some of the lessons that I was very much not wanting to learn. So,
Mhm.
but again, a lot of people don't want to face that because it's uncomfortable. So
Mhm.
when you
Yeah,
work with me, you
and
face that shit.
yes, exactly. It's worth it. Yeah, it is a rude awakening to realize that so much of your identity at first is built on who you had to be to protect yourself and be safe based on your experience of the world. And then you're so
100%.
codependent on the world from that place, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So
Seems
having
like
to
you have
look at
personal
that.
experience with this.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm still navigating it. I'm in such a better place than I've ever been, but
Yeah.
still those things are arising, and I'm really just focusing on what is me? What is me? What is me? Like the actual core me, that the frequency that I just
Yeah.
effortlessly feel myself and I don't care what anyone thinks. And so it's a practice and it's taken me 10
Yeah.
plus years to get to where I am.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Well, you're a Cancer rising, so I'm sure you were very parentified as a child.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for seeing me.
People
Yeah, no.
put upon you a lot, and
Yeah,
then no one was actually there to hold you the same way that you
100%.
could and were expected to hold others.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this summer has been a huge shift for me in that I'm like, I'm not available for it. I'm staying with family right now temporarily until I go to New York for musical theater. Um,
Yeah,
I know I'm
girl.
stoked. Let's go Saturn return. And
Yes.
and
Where?
I
Okay, wait.
just
So are you
yeah,
you're a Saturn in Aries?
I am. Yeah.
So you're a
Yeah.
Cancer rising. So Aries, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries. Oh, that's your 10th house. That's your career.
Yes, I know. It's
Yeah.
crazy because it's what I've always wanted to do, and I had to
Yeah,
let go of
dude.
so much shit to step into that.
Yeah, it's
Oh
gonna be
my
huge
God.
for you. This
I'm
is
excited. I'm
exciting.
a Leo moon and an Aquarius sun, just so you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh. Well, that's
know.
cool. So you were born on a full moon. That's fun.
I what? I love how you know that.
Well,
Astrologer
because
man.
your moon is opposite your sun.
See, I'm not there yet with like the genius zone. I love astrology. I know a little bit, but I
Yeah.
want to, yeah, want to keep
Yeah,
diving.
anybody that has like their moon and their sun completely opposite, they were born on a
Mhm.
full moon. Anyone whose
Cool.
sun and moon is the same, like I have a Sagittarius sun and moon,
Hmm.
we were born on a new moon.
Cool. Okay, now I'm gonna remember that forever.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love
Yeah.
that.
Full moon,
Um,
baby.
full
Cool.
moon. I know I feel the magic of that. I always feel a
It's
little
such a
turned up.
like born on a full or a new moon is just so magical in its own way. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
It's its own power. Yeah, so just recently this summer I've been, especially with family, I'm like, it's not my shit. So uncomfortable to let go, but for the first time ever, I'm like, this isn't mine to fix. It's not my
Yeah,
business. I need to just regulate my own nervous system and do my thing and be an example of something different,
totally.
if they want to change certain things. And it's love them all, honor their journeys. But I'm just shifting so much, and it's quite a journey to do that in the midst of the things that you grew up with. I think it's such a gift, though. It's very Cancer.
Totally. Well,
Um,
there's like it's like a radio frequency, right?
yeah,
It's like you, and I think that's part of the reason why so many people avoid the work that we're talking about
yeah,
because it's, and I think a lot of people will be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And they do it up until it forces them to look at their relationships, especially the ones that they've clung to for so long.
yeah.
And, with like a Leo moon, you're already like a very benevolent, protective energy anyway. So it's like, to like realize that probably one of the biggest thing that's going to have to like go and not
Mhm.
probably not forever. I doubt forever. I
Yeah.
mean, Cancer risings, like you always find your way back to your family.
Yeah.
But part of it is about being willing to let go and like
Hmm.
let the radio frequencies just not be on the same
Right.
channel for a little while. Like
Yeah.
this just what has to happen and it sucks, but
Yeah.
it's
No, it's so
necessary. I mean,
true.
we've all, and that's why a lot of people avoid it because they're like,
Hmm.
oh, well, I don't, like that means I'm going to have to like, maybe there's going to be like a rift in my family or,
Yeah.
it's going to cause a lot of fighting or a lot of like misunderstanding. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but
Mhm.
it was already built on misunderstanding and misalignment. You were
Yeah.
just the one putting up with it and like outsourcing your boundaries
Right.
to make it peaceful.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the first time I'm ever like, oh, I don't need to protect how they feel about my truth. And
No.
it's so freeing. Holy God.
No, you do not. And it's like you don't need the approval,
Yeah.
just because they've always needed your approval for things doesn't mean you
Yeah.
need theirs. That's a big one for Cancer risings.
Hmm.
Like a
Hmm.
lot of people in Cancer risings life, they come to you to be like, this is my idea. Do you like it? Because
Hmm.
you're ruled by the moon, like,
Hmm.
and you
Hmm.
have luminaries in your top three. You have sun energy and moon energy. So there's this
Hmm.
I need her approval. I need her
Yeah.
opinion. I need her insight. I need her eyes on this. I need her emotions in this.
Hmm.
And so I think a lot of Cancer rising with like Leo moon combos, it's actually interesting. My son's dad is Libra sun, Cancer rising, Leo moon. So very
Yeah.
similar.
Mm.
And both air signs as well.
Yeah.
And that's been his biggest work. He's 42 now, but like that's his biggest work. And
Mm.
it's been a really cool evolution to see him kind of come into that as like
Yeah.
everyone needs my approval. I actually don't need anyone else's. And it's actually okay for me to do things for myself. So I actually
Yeah.
think the fact that you're learning this now at 27 and 28 is so big because
Yeah.
most people don't learn this. I mean, I just think it's so cool how much earlier we're like
Hmm.
getting these tools.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as an artist, like I struggled with the arts so much with
Sure.
all these traumas. I can't walk into this career and need approval 24/7. Like, ew. Just doesn't
No.
work at
Yeah.
all,
Perception
right?
is hard for being perceived is really hard for Leo and for Scorpio energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot
Yeah,
of times Leo moon, not so much, but like in your emotions, I
in
think
my
more than
emotions.
anything, people love to humble Leo energy. Like it's just, it's
Yeah.
natural because it's ruled by
Yeah.
the sun and the sun is hot. If
Mm-hmm.
you get too close, you get burned. And I think
Mm-hmm.
people just, it like the brightness to which your emotions shine. And I'm sure like how big your emotions can be and
Mm-hmm.
how authentic you can be and how you feel probably scares people, I would assume.
Totally. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but
and
then I used
so
to think that I was the person that would then, reel it all back and basically like attune myself to everybody else and be hyper vigilant so that I can
totally.
be contained. And I'm just like, ew, I want the opposite. I want to live as myself. And it's so weird because it used to be everything. It used to be my whole self, the one that
100%.
thought that I had to give my energy to everybody else. And so pulling
Yeah,
that back and feeling like my emotions and my energy is mine is so different. So
totally. I
different.
mean, yeah, I mean, Leo rules my 10th house. So
Okay.
Leo's my midheaven and it's my career
Hmm.
and public image. So
Love that.
I understand the like perception of Leo so
Hmm.
deeply. And yeah, it's true. It's like and it's not even about, I actually think it becomes easier to be perceived professionally when you are more yourself because when
Yes.
you're not yourself, it's like people are what they're perceived. Well, it can also make it harder, I think, because
Hmm.
it's like it's both, right? Light and shadow to everything. So on one hand, it makes it easier because you're like, well, this is who I am. And like if
Hmm.
you don't like that, that's fine. But also when you're not putting on a mask anymore and you truly are just being authentic all the time, it also is like most people don't do that. Most people they're walking around with a mask on. And so if
Right.
somebody criticizes them, what they're criticizing is the mask that they're wearing. So it's like, oh, okay, I'll just put on a new one. Easy.
Yeah.
But like
No,
when you
exactly.
stop wearing masks altogether, all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's if somebody has a problem with what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting, it's not the mask. They actually just have a problem with you. And
Yeah.
that I think is what is hard for people, especially people with good intentions. Because you're like,
Hmm.
well, I want to explain myself and I want you to get me and I want you to see that I'm like a really good person. And I always tell
Hmm.
Leo energy, like anybody who has prominent Leo in their chart, I'm like, be a good person.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time trying to prove that you're a good person. There's a difference
Yeah.
in that energy.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm there, to be honest, because I've
Yeah,
just spent so many years of my life caring what people think. And now I
totally.
know who I am so
Totally.
strongly. And I'm like, I'm gonna be authentic and I actually don't care. Like I care in the right way. I don't care about the bullshit because I'm
Absolutely.
happy. And that's what I
Yeah.
deserve. And that's what I want for you too. So like
Yeah.
do you, right?
Yeah. Well, and you have a
Yeah.
second house moon. So like money, money is in the second house. And so it's like
Mm.
when you can really
Yeah.
tap into your emotions in an authentic way and having that opposite, your eighth house sun, like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like the more that you surrender to just being perceived, the
Yeah.
more money you make.
Yeah, that feels very true. I
Yep.
have to honor my own rhythms and shit. Like otherwise
Mm-hmm.
nothing works because my energy's
Nothing.
shut off. So yeah, here's a great example of why we need to know, right?
You
Because
have to
it
know.
just helps so much. You're
Yeah,
not walking in the dark, like you have a flashlight.
you
So
do.
yeah.
Your human design and your astrology is your flashlight in the dark.
Yeah. What is one of the greatest gifts that learning about yourself has given you in your life?
Discernment. I mean,
Hmm.
you know, I think I've always had this feeling that no matter what happens, like no matter how much shit hits the fan, no matter how crazy or how like bad things
Mm-hmm.
are, I've never been for sale. Like my values, the way I feel, the way that I think has never been for sale. But I
Yeah.
sometimes have silenced that. I have an open throat in human design, which if you don't
Mm-hmm.
open centers, defined centers just means like, is it
Mm-hmm.
colored in or not? Anything
Mm-hmm.
that's open in human design is where you're impressionable. It's where you
Mm.
absorb. And so I have an open throat, which a lot of people are very shocked by because I spend so much of my time talking. But
That's
it's like
cool.
that's the power of
Yeah.
deconditioning, right? Like
Right.
for a long time I would silence my voice or I
Mm-hmm.
would not speak up about my opinions on things because I could feel how it would be received. And I think really understanding that and deconditioning my throat and really being
Mm-hmm.
like, actually, I'm just going to say what I want to say and I'm going to say what I see because I am a psychic and I do have this like, I'm a
Yeah.
Scorpio rising Pluto and Mars. Like you're not given a stellium Scorpio in your first house with your chart ruler in your first house conjunct your rising. Like you don't get that unless
Mm-hmm.
you're here to be a truth teller.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
learning that has really made me very discerning. I I'm really able like I really am like I wouldn't say I'm like I'm not untriggerable. Like of course everyone still gets triggered, but
Yeah.
I don't let triggers take me out. I welcome triggers because it's like there's
Mm-hmm.
something that can heal deeper. Like
Exactly.
I take nothing personally. I'll say that to people and they're like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "No, like truly. Like
Truly.
there's
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing someone could say to me
Mm-hmm.
that somebody even said to me online one time, like, oh, like, no wonder your dad died or something. And
Mm.
everyone else took that personally for me. And I didn't
Yeah.
take that personally because I'm like, I know why you said that. Like, I get it. Um, it's shitty and like, you're not a very nice person, but like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to take that as mine. I'm not wearing that as
Right.
mine.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest gift it's given me. And it's given me the ability to do the work I do. I love
Yeah.
the work that I do. And I think when I look at human design and astrology and how it connects to nervous system mastery and how it connects to shadow work and how it connects to our somatic body, it
Mm.
is so easy for me to understand. Like it's like reading English to me. And I know
Yeah.
that that's not most people. Most people look at it and it looks like a foreign language.
Yeah.
That's not it. Like I understand it so fluently and so that I would say is also a pretty big gift it's given me.
Yeah. Huge gift. Huge gift. I
Yeah.
resonate with that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Astrology's always felt more like English than English to me. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't know how to answer this question. Like this is where we're gonna take this, right? And
Yep.
yeah, it's such a gift, especially to not take things personally because I mean, I watch you alchemize things in real time all the time and it's just so
Yeah.
fun to watch. Like yes, go off. But
Like
seriously, I know. And it's fun. Like it's like a show. It's the Danielle show, but it's your life. It's real. It's true. And it's a gift that
it's
people can
real,
learn
it's
from.
true, and it's who
Yeah.
I am. And like,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to perceive me from one piece of content, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's
Okay.
like why care what one little judgment has to say? Because you already understand where that comes from in someone. It's just not worth it the
Right.
time. Yeah.
Right. And I think, it's like I was a theater major. Like like and not like music. I loved musical theater, but like I was
Hmm.
like I studied Meisner, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
studied
yeah.
Udahagen. Like
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
to UC San Diego. Like
Yeah.
I um I am deeply passionate about the human experience. Like
Me
I am
too.
very understanding that we are all like meat sacks in a human, in a
Hmm.
spiritual, like a spiritual being in a meat sack. Like I'm
Yeah.
very aware of that, but like,
Yeah.
and also we chose to have this human experience. And I'm so deeply passionate and interested
Mm.
in that. So
Yeah.
when I see people like acting crazy, it's almost more intriguing to me than anything else.
Hmm.
Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like, yeah, what happened? Like, and when I
Yeah.
see people like commenting some wild shit on a post or, just misunderstanding me, like if I do like a training for someone or if I'm, they hear me on a podcast or they hear me do
Hmm.
a speech or whatever, and they misunderstand me so badly, I'm always like, I'd love to see your chart. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to see what we're working with here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. And what's something that you loved about growing up in the arts? Like, what did you love, and then what kind of turned you off to it to say, I want to shift and leave this space? I'm super curious.
That's a good question. What did I love? I mean, I loved like, I never had to come out. Like I've always been very sexually fluid.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because when I started dating Breezy, like she wasn't the first woman I dated, like definitely the most serious I had been
Mm-hmm.
with. But I remember growing up and like everyone was gay. like
I love that. Yeah.
like everyone was gay and
Yeah.
everyone was colorful and everyone was living
Mm-hmm.
their life in technicolor. And you know, I think I also taught theater for high school for a while. Like when I was going through my master's, I taught high school theater. And
Yeah.
you watch a lot of the kids that come in, they're labeled as like autistic or they're on the
Mm-hmm.
spectrum or they have some sort of like neurodivergent thing. And what I've
Yeah.
learned is like I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, none of those things are real. Like, that's not what I'm
No.
saying. What I'm saying is it actually that these are like medical issues, or is it just that there's a certain pocket of the human existence that people feel deeper?
Mm-hmm.
They're more sensitive. They use their brains in different ways. They see the world through a different lens than is considered normal. And actually, maybe that's a superpower and
Yeah.
not something to diagnose. And I just
Yes.
grew up in that. Like
Yeah.
I grew up seeing that. I mean, I danced in Hollywood at a studio called Millennium, and I
Mm-hmm.
danced at a studio called The Edge, which were like very famous dance studios.
Yeah.
All those teachers that used to be on So You Think You Can Dance, like those were my teachers growing up. Like that's who I danced with all the time. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
um, I never had to come out. Like my family, and I know that's not everyone's story, but
Yeah.
like when I I remember when I started dating Breezy, I like told my dad and he was like, "Okay, great. Well, love to meet her." And it was just so
Yeah.
easy. And
Yeah.
and I never felt shame around who I was. Um and I think that was the biggest gift it gave me. And like one of my favorite things about it was just
Yeah.
to be able to grow up in a community that just lived in full technicolor, and that felt so safe was really cool. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think the thing that turned me off to it was it wasn't it. It was me. I turned myself off to it because I had built that career from a wounded version of
Right.
myself that was very addicted to praise and validation. So
Yeah.
I would go to auditions and I wouldn't get it and I would just like I would let it ruin me, or
Yeah.
I just obsessed over what they were thinking. And I was having this conversation with, I think, my wife the other day, and she's like, "Would you ever go back?" And I'm like, I think about it sometimes because, like,
Yeah.
now, what, 12 years later,
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a different person. And I know
Yeah.
now, like, if I were to go back to acting, like, I wouldn't let it phase me at all.
Right.
Like, I've definitely thought about it, but at that time, which is like the same reason I ended up leaving Soul Cycle, like,
Mm-hmm.
when you grow up a hyper independent firstborn daughter whose
Yeah.
entire worth, and I'm a generator in human design,
Me
but like,
too.
yeah, so it's like, but
Yeah.
at that time, I didn't even know what my full
Right.
body yes was. My
Mhm.
full body yes was the praise I received for saying yes.
Right.
So I didn't even know what a full body yes felt like in my body. Like if I could have
Mhm.
had the feeling of praise that I received for like being available as like an IV drug, I would have taken it. Like I was so addicted to that feeling.
Yeah.
Um, and so, you find jobs where you just perpetuate that narrative until you're
Yeah.
willing, and to unplug from that, you really do have to leave it all behind, because I don't like, kind of to your point, how you said there's no way to like heal in the same environment. That
Yeah.
was certainly true with me and how like what my career was. So there was no way I
Mm.
was actually going to be able to unplug from the addiction that I had. It's like a drug addict. Like if you're addicted to heroin, like you can't just, you know, dabble and like be clean. Like you have to cut it off.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's like I had to cut it off in order to
Hmm.
really, really heal and face those shadows and those things and really master my nervous system in a new way. Like I had to
Yeah.
unplug from it. So
Absolutely. Such a great answer. And yeah, I resonate with a lot of that. And I did let go of the arts for several years as well, because I'm like, this just ain't it. And I was so deep in my spiritual journey, healing journey. And I was like, I don't know how these worlds collide now. I'm not ready to collide them, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
that's part of why I started the podcast. I'm like, how do I bridge these two worlds? Like,
The
how do I
bridge.
let myself
Perfect.
rebirth? Yeah, exactly. And that now all of a sudden my dreams have been like coming to me, and this school thing happened. I quantum leaped and I auditioned and everything's just unfolding. And I'm like, holy fuck. And I
So are
think
you going to
it's
school for it?
musical theater, yeah, at
What
AMDA.
school are you
You
going to?
know, AMDA?
Oh, you're going to AMDA.
Yeah.
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 I
Dream.
I taught an intensive at AMDA in LA
Fun.
a couple
Fun.
times.
Yes.
Such a
So
good
fun.
school.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm undecided if I'm gonna go to LA after to do the BFA, but I'll just decide as I go. I'm just stoked to be in New York. I fucking love it there.
Yeah.
And
It's cool. I just got back from there last week and
yeah.
honestly, I've I had a hard time with New York the last few times I've been. Like it felt
Yeah.
the energy of it felt very dark and this time like
Yeah.
it felt so alive and it felt so vibrant and that was
Hmm.
probably a me thing, but it was also for sure just the city in general I think is
Yeah.
has done a lot of healing.
Yes, I agree. I think the timing is just exquisite for
Yeah,
me.
you're gonna have so much
And
fun. When do you
yeah.
leave?
Well, I start in February, so
Cool.
yeah, it's
So fun.
quick.
So
So
fun.
yeah, I think it's going to be really healing to be in the arts again now because of
Yeah.
all of this healing and all of this awareness and work that I've done, and it's just such a different version of myself. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
just like have a blank slate, and
Yeah.
that's what this work does. Whether you can re-enter passions you've always had, you can start new things. Like it's an experience, right? It's not a linear
Totally.
journey. It's totally a spiral. So, and I also just want to say what you said about like autism and all of that, the multi-dimensional, multicolored expression that we all have. I feel the exact same way. Um,
Mm.
that it's a superpower, it's a gift, and I've had to learn that a lot through myself too. I'm like ADHD, multidimensionality. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And just stepping into that uniqueness of how differently I see the world. And I've learned that a lot through when things are said in a way that bring me peace or make me feel calm for exactly who I am. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's the truth. It just wasn't the norm in the world, right? And then if you're
Yeah.
if you're up
Yeah.
against or in around people that are still looking from those maybe like limited perspectives, then you feel like you're a problem and everything's wrong with you and it's just chaotic. And now I'm like, you know what? I don't need to do anything else. Like I don't need to do work on myself or fix myself. I know when I need to
Right.
integrate something. I actually
Right.
just need to let myself be in spaces that welcome who I am. And
Right.
so I'm really a big advocate for helping people feel safe to be that way,
Yeah.
to just amplify that truth in the world. So I love that you said
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Have you listened to the telepathy tapes?
I don't think so.
All
No.
right. Well, this is like a totally other tangent, but you should
Amazing.
everybody who's listening to this show should look like link it in your show notes. I
Okay.
have nothing to do with it except for I'm a huge fan. I actually met the girl randomly at a concert that's like helping do the documentary for it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's essentially it's about nonverbal autistic humans who
Mm-hmm.
all 100% of them have the ability to telepathically communicate with each other as well as
I love
like they can read their mother's minds and like they run all these tests on it and like there's now scientists involved and like they're getting ridiculed and like criticized out the ass by the science community because it's not proven, like it's not
that.
scientifically
Yeah,
provable. And it's like
it is
I'm
though.
so, and obviously the person that I am, like, I understand astrology. I'm like, no, this is just the beginning. Like, we are
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
see this amplified.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is about to become the norm.
Yeah.
So that was like a little aside is like, listen to that podcast because
Okay.
it really will open your eyes to like the
Amazing.
power of that community.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they did this test, a human design test, where they took I don't know how many people, like 4,000 people or something, and they found that I think it was like 85 or 90, it was a high number
Mm-hmm.
percentage of the people who were manifesting generators or generators had been
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed with ADHD, and like 60 or 70% of the people who were projectors had been diagnosed on the spectrum in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's really interesting to me. And of course, the way my brain works, I'm like, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm never going to sit there and be like, well, then
Right.
clearly you don't have a problem. Like, that's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is it begs the question, is it actually a problem
Right.
or something is it actually a disability? Or is it that we've centered what is normal around one type of person, and
Mm-hmm.
actually to be a full full spectrum, you know, light comes on a spectrum, sound comes on a spectrum. Why wouldn't human consciousness
We
also come
literally
on a
are
spectrum?
sound and light. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Literally, like we are sound and light. Like we're
Hmm.
literally like balls of dust floating
Yeah.
around on a rock made of dust, being
Hmm.
hurled through the universe at thousands of miles an hour. So like, why
Yeah.
would we be any different than
Yeah.
the sound and the light spectrum? And it just makes me, it just is really interesting to me because I'm like, if
Yeah.
that many generators and MGs are considered, you know, if you have ADHD, it's a disability. Like, is
Yeah.
it? I don't know. I don't know if it's a disability. I don't know. Or do we just live in a world where we've made it okay for one type of person and like that's actually the
Yeah.
disability?
100%. I don't resonate with labels myself. Even when I went through chronic illness when I was 18, it was like big initiation into,
Yeah,
new level of living, let's just say that. And
totally.
I didn't resonate with labels. People would ask me like, "What's going on? What do you have?" And I'm like, I don't know how to answer that question. Like I have 17 different things, but I don't have them. It's just, an experience and I'm rewiring my whole system and my health and everything. And I, especially a couple of years ago, I came across like dissociative identity disorder and I bawled my
Oh,
eyes out and was like, I feel so validated by this, but I still didn't resonate with having a label. I'm like, this just gives this context as
yeah.
to what I'm experiencing, but now I can heal this and move forward. And it's
Mhm.
the same with ADHD. And I was just saying this the other day, like, as a generator, I have to stay in my yes, stay in my joy, stay in my like inspiration. And I kind of go between play and rest. And this is just what's worked for me. And so no matter what I
Yeah.
need to do in the day or want to do, I only do it when it feels good. Like I'll work on something for 40 minutes and then I'll be like, I'm bored. My brain
Gotta
needs
go
to
take a
like,
break.
yeah, I got to shift my energy and just do something else. And if that's
Yeah.
ADHD, cool. I think it's just me enjoying my life and playing and being able to be in flow, right? Instead of control and like live in my mind. So
And
I
you also have
really,
Sagittarius ruling your sixth house. So your work and your daily routine and your discipline is ruled by Sagittarius. It's ruled by
yeah,
Jupiter. So like
yeah,
it's never going to look the same. It's never going to be
yeah.
super like structured. It's yeah,
Hmm.
freedom comes through a certain level of structure, but it's
Right.
still Sagittarian in nature.
Right. And structure could just be, oh, I have a podcast and I know what I need to do to have that keep going. That's structure.
Totally.
But how I approach it is completely
Structure is I want to maybe be on Broadway or maybe go to LA and like be an actor and like
exactly.
in order to do that I'm going to go get education.
That's it. And I don't know what else. That's fine.
That's fine.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I used to feel like that was impossible for me to live that way because
Yeah, I'm
that's not
sure.
what my family was expecting. And
Yeah.
when I made myself wrong for that, again, it was such a challenge. But when I started to embrace and still am more, no, this is actually what's right because it feels good for me. And your
Yeah.
opinions actually don't get a say in this. And that's a very different level of
Did you grow up in a family that like nobody wanted to rock the boat? Nobody wanted
pretty
to like
much.
nobody wanted to like step out of that like good girl or good, you know, good human conditioning.
Yeah,
Like everybody just
completely.
like yeah, like I always feel
So
like
much
Aries in the
fear.
10th because like opposite Aries in the 10th is your Libra in the 4th. And
Yeah.
people with Libra in the 4th, it's like nobody talks about anything hard. Like everyone just kind of like
Yeah. No repair, no
maintains.
communication. Yeah.
There's no because everyone's just trying to maintain this like peace.
Yeah. And that was very hard as an artist. I went into
I'm
acting
sure I
school
was
and
gonna
everything.
say,
I'm
and I'm
like,
sure for you, you were like, what?
what the fuck? I know. I'm like, how am I supposed to express myself? My body doesn't even know how. It's afraid of like being restricted constantly. And I'm not blaming them. It's like, I get it.
No,
I
no,
see
no, of
it,
course
but
not. I mean, you chose it. Like that's
I
the other thing.
did
It's like you wrote your own soul
to break
contract, so you
free.
chose to come
Yeah.
down to this level of the video game with that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's
And
the
you're an
fun part.
Aquarius sun. So you're already an alien and thinking like 10 steps ahead.
Yes. Exactly.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel for people that have Libra in the 4th because it's like anytime I see it, I'm always like, "Oh, so, you know,
Hmm.
you grew up in a family that had a really hard time
Hmm.
talking about feelings."
Yeah, very. But it's really beautiful because now I get to be like the example of something different. I get to be
Totally.
the light. I get to help them do that without taking it on.
Yeah,
That's
that's why
the
you're here.
difference. Yeah. Yeah.
And you have your Pluto's in Sagittarius, right?
Yeah, Pluto Sagittarius.
Yeah, you're at the beginning of that. So like that's where the biggest transformation is going to be for you. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I think
Hmm.
that it's like it's when you heal, like this is the other thing, like this is such a big part of what I teach. Like you're not
Mm-hmm.
just doing this work for you, you're doing it for your lineage. We hold
Yeah.
13 generations of trauma in our DNA, up to 13 generations. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you think about what was happening 13 generations ago in any of our DNA, like it was probably slavery or it was
Yeah.
poverty or it was genocide. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're carrying that, no wonder history keeps repeating itself. Like,
Right.
so when
Right.
you heal it for you don't just heal it for you heal it for your lineage and you heal it for everyone who comes after you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think about the way that I was raised by my mom, who was raised that way by her mom and her mom and her
Right.
mom. And like, I decided that that was no longer going to be my reality. And like, now I watch
Exactly.
the way my son is being raised and like, I mean, almost to, it's like almost the pendulum's almost swung too far. Like, where
Mm.
he knows he is loved. Like, he does not feel like he has to perform for shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I'd like you to try a little, but like, it's like we've
Love
healed
it.
it, like this kid will
Yeah.
never question
Mm.
his
What
worth
a
in that
gift.
way. And it's because of the work that I did. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's such a
it's
gift.
cool.
Such a gift. And I feel that way about like I'm with my dad and grandma right now. And I've spent time, significant time with almost everyone in my family over the past like 5 to 7 years in the midst
Yeah.
of travel or different things. And I was so frustrated by that when I thought it was because I wasn't doing something right. But I would always tap into my soul. And my soul would be like, no, this is where you're meant to be. No, this is the work you're supposed to be doing. And I knew that I trusted it.
Yeah.
Seven soul number over here. And so I just now, even like what you just said is so beautiful because my grandma will be triggered by something. And I see that almost symbolically as the generational trauma from way back, literally
Yeah.
coming through her like a mirror. And I'm like, how am I going to respond to this and transmute it into love in real time with her? And that
Hmm.
frees both of us. Truly,
Yeah.
most amazing experience to have.
Yeah. It
So.
transmutes when you let it.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah. We
cool.
don't meet it at the same level of the distortion that it went in with, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's so cool.
yeah. I'm obsessed with energetics. I could nerd out about it all day, but
Same.
we're almost at an hour. So I'd love to ask you, I ask everybody at the end, if you had a broadcast out to the world right now and you could just say one thing, one message to the world, what would you want to say?
It's not that serious.
So good.
Like it's just not like
It's
it's just
not.
not. We're
It's
literally
not.
spiritual beams of light. I think I posted about this on my social media that like I just said it. It's like you're literally a thing. You're literally this like spiritual being in a human meat sack, like full of gas and dust on a
Hmm.
rock made of gas and dust and water.
No.
And you're being hurled through the universe, an infinite universe at thousands of miles an hour amongst multiple and infinite timelines. Like
Yeah.
it's not that serious. Like anything that you think is limiting you is not.
Hmm.
And like just go. Like just do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, just go do it. Like it's just
Yeah.
not that
It can be so
serious.
much more fun. Like I really, that's my
It
thing now.
can be. I
The
mean,
point
and
is
everyone
joy.
always is like, "Oh my gosh, like you're a Scorpio who like you're a Scorpio rising who has fun." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because like I've been through death."
Yeah,
Like
been through the shit and we're like, yeah, no thanks. I'm
like I'm
good.
just not interested in like living my
Yeah.
life that way. Like you bet I'm going to celebrate everything. Like you bet I'm going to be
Yeah.
silly and stupid and like oh, you think that that's a limitation? Like I don't. So I'm going to go do it. Like it's just not that
Hmm.
serious.
Yeah. Well, that's such a great note to end on. And I'm obsessed with you. This has all been just magical.
So fun.
Thank you for coming on. And can you just
Thank you.
share how people can connect with you if they want to, anything that you offer that you want to share, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah. If you come to my Instagram, Danielle underscore on the daily, or my TikTok, Danielle underscore on the daily, that's where I do a lot of like my free content. I have a podcast. We actually took a little hiatus. We're starting back in the new year. So
Mhm.
again, you can find that through my Instagram or my TikTok. I would say like I have a website. Go check out all my offers. If you're like new to human design and astrology and you're like, wow, I'd really love to understand it like this, I have a great masterclass that's like fully self-paced. You can get it through the link in the bio on it's called Charted. It's a
Mhm.
really great place to start if you're like just dipping your toe into human design and astrology and this like work that we've been talking about. But regardless, just come hang out on Instagram and TikTok and you'll
Mhm.
you'll learn a lot just through the free content I put out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll have fun. It's a good time over there.
It is. It's a
Well, thank
circus.
you. Yes, I know. But that's how we got to live. And
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You give everyone else permission to do their own version of that. Just live your life and
Yep.
take it so
Yep.
seriously. So thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Chelsea.
coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Bridge. You are so valued and appreciated here, and I hope it helped bring light, love, clarity, and healing to your journey of remembering who you are. If you'd like to share feedback, have questions, want to collaborate, or request for a specific guest or episode topic, you can email us at the email below. To connect with us on socials or to work with me one-on-one, you can head to the social medias in the description below. If you'd like to donate to support our mission to share love, peace, and unity on this planet, you will find a link for that as well. You can always reach out via email to ask us how you can support what we are currently doing in the world. Remember, together we are better and truly can do so much. Now it's that time. Go live this new wisdom you received here in your life. Share it, integrate it, pass it on. Your ripples are powerful and needed, and you have a unique way of sharing and being that only you can be. As always, take what resonates for you and leave the rest. You are sovereign. You are the magic wand. You are the bridge to experiencing the world that you want. You are the conductor of your destiny. See it, choose it, speak it, feel it, believe it, know it, and go be it. Remember, it always starts with you. The universe is always on your side, and you are infinite. One love, and we'll see you in the next one.